Hello there guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Histon. And coming up on today's episode, we've got another FA Cup special for you today. Up again in the first round for the first time in this save at home to Colchester United, who are in League 1 at the moment in Season 4. Before we get into that game and tell you a little bit about where Colchester are in League 1, let's take you through what's been happening since you were last with us, which was the fantastic 1-0 victory away at Darlington in the FA Cup 4th qualifying round, which has set up this FA Cup first round match against Colchester. We followed that up with another 1-0 win, this time at home against Kidlington in the Southern League Cup. It wasn't a vintage performance from us, based on the stats you can see right there. Very even game against the team that's in the division below us, but that's mainly because we had quite a few reserves in the team. Luke Colkin coming back into the squad in goal, Ollie Ford also making a starter at right back. Just a couple of other players that just had their say on, had their chance in the team to see if they could break into that first team, and it was a good 1-0 win. We've advanced into the next round of the cup, which is absolutely important, because the board are expecting us to get to the 4th round of this by the end of the season, which we've now got one victory that we need. We need to get another one at home to Truro in order to match that expectation. We then followed that up with a 0-0 draw against top of the league Hereford. I'd take this as a point gain, considering the fact that Hereford are so far ahead of us in the league, mainly because of the fact that they've played so many more games than us in the league, because of the fact that they've been knocked out of the FA Cup early and we've had cup commitments. But based on the stats, you can see Hereford look to seem to have had more of the chances to put the ball in the back of the net against us, but 50-50% possession, and we had a couple of opportunities towards the end of the game to snatch the victory, which would have been absolutely crucial, because if we won this game and then won all our games in hand, we'd actually be ahead of Hereford in the league. So this is not, in my opinion, though, despite that, is a point gained, and we didn't really lose much ground. We didn't lose ground on Hereford, but we did lose ground on the next team we played, which was Rugby. However, we reversed that though with a 4-2 victory away at Rugby. And this actually handed Rugby their first defeat of the season, which means now we're the only unbeaten side left in the league right now. Justin May and a Jordan Brown own goal resulted in us being 2-0 up by the 15th minute, before Kareem Andrew and James Ball pulled it back to 2-2 before half time. And then it took us until the 85th minute for Hogan Ephraim to score, and then Josh Green scoring in the 89th minute on the counter-attack to wrap up the 3 points and hand Rugby their first defeat and continue our unbeaten start to the season. And we've continued that on into the home match, which was the last game before this FA Cup match. This time it was in the FA Trophy at home to Thurrock, who I think are in the Northern Premier Division, but I can't remember from my... Oh, no, sorry, it's Mason Division 1 North, so they're in the tier below us. So it would have been an embarrassment if we ended up losing this game. But Callum Frew scored a trademark free kick. I think it was his first goal of the season. But then Marlon Ayakwa, I think that's how you pronounce it, apologies if he's actually watching this game, equalised, and then Justin May scored a late winner to ensure that we got through without needing a replay, which was absolutely crucial. Didn't really want to have another replay, another match to worry about, along with this FA Cup game, and also the number of league games that we've had rearranged later on later on this season. So, in terms of what that's actually done to the league, we've had 2 games from the league, and as it stands right now, we've dropped 1 position since the last time you were with us, down to 4th. That's mainly because Weymouth have now played 3 more games than us, and Rugby have played 4 more games than us. So, if we win all our games in hand, we will be well clear of both those teams, which would be fantastic, and also well clear of 6th place Hampton and Richmond, who are now 4 points behind us with 2 games, well, having played 2 games more. So, it'd be nice if we can bridge that gap a little bit more as soon as we play those games in hand, and ensure that we guarantee ourselves at least a playoff spot. And hopefully, I'm whispering this. I'm going to try and whisper this right now, but maybe promotion on the cards if we somehow reduce the gap at the top to Hereford with those games in hand. But the league is not what our focus is today. As I mentioned before, we're up against Colchester in the FA Cup, a team that's currently sitting in League 1. You may remember from last time that I did say that they were top of the league when we got drawn against them, but since then they've had a bit of a bad run. A bit like Darlington, not as severe, though. They've lost 3 of the last 4 games against Fleetwood, MK Dons and Walsall. I think they were all teams near the top of League 1. Well, okay, Walsall are... Oh, MK Dons are 3rd. Colchester are now 6th. Walsall are 7th. And Fleetwood are near the bottom of the league. So not a very good run for Colchester. They've dropped from first place down to 6th in the space of 4 league games. So they're on a bit of a bad run of form here. So a possible cup set is again on the cards, but I'm not getting ahead of myself. This is a League One team we're up against, and they are a professional football club as well. So fingers are crossed, but I wouldn't be surprised if we end up losing the match, but I'd like to see us give us a good go against a team in League One. We did pretty well against these sort of teams in pre-season. If you guys remember, we actually managed to, I think, if we go to the schedule actually and show you the friendlies, we actually managed to get a draw against Derby, who were in the Championship, and then we only narrowly lost to Peterborough, who were in the Championship, and then Cambridge beat us 4-2, but they're in League Two. So that was the only blip in the whole of the pre-season, that 4-2 defeat, despite us getting a draw against Derby and only a 2-1 defeat against Posh, who are currently sitting, both of them are sitting pretty high in the Championship standing. So you never know with this. We've got pretty much a very nearly sold out crowd. 3,249 tickets have been sold for this game, so this probably could be the highest attendance for a competitive game that we have in this save so far. Let's have a quick look at the team that we're going to be playing with today. Jack Utteridge is another thing as well. Jack Utteridge is finally back from injury. Unfortunately, though, he's lacking match sharpness, which could cost us in terms of defensive lapses of concentration. So I am tempted to play Taylor McKenzie, who's now who's got a lot more match sharp since the last time you were with us. I've played him in a couple more games now, and he seems to have improved his match sharpness. He still is a little bit weak on 79% compared with everyone else, but I think that's the best thing we can do at the moment, and we're going to bring on Jack Utteridge if things are going well, and we need to shore up the defence just to get some freshness in, or if things aren't going well, we can just give him a little run out for 30-40 minutes or so. It just depends on what happens in this match. I'm quietly optimistic. I'm just going to quickly faff around with the bench here, because I want to have a left back, right back person, a centre back, attacking midfielder, a centre midfielder, and one striker at the moment. I think I might go for... I'm going to go for Steve Reed instead of Danny Waldron, and I think I'm going to go for that. A couple of these guys on the bench lacking match sharpness, but it's one of those things, I guess, when they don't play enough games. So, without further ado, let us get into this FA Cup match. I focus on defensive positioning, quite obviously, considering the fact that Colchester are a much better team than us on paper, and they're currently sitting in the playoffs in League One. Yes, we're in the playoffs at the moment on our end, but we've got to make sure that this game doesn't distract us as much as say the league. But it's a massive opportunity for us to get into the next round, to round 2, and get even more money into the club. And I think we pretty much matched the amount of money that we paid for the new facilities that, as I mentioned, right at the start of the season. So apparently, it's the pre-match analysis that says that it's going to go down to a draw. I'll take that, to be honest, and we'll get a replay at Colchester, which will be fantastic. It's not too far away from Cambridge area. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I haven't got Google Maps in front of me at the moment, but I did have a quick look when I was looking at football grounds to go to in the area. They're not the furthest club that you could get to. They're not that far away relative to some other clubs that are around. I'm trying to recognise if there's any other players on this team that I recognise. Don't think there is. I've heard of Mark Little, but I don't know what he's good at, unfortunately. Danny Johnston I have heard of, and Tom Walker I've heard of, but I'm not sure, again, on their how good they actually are. Colchester are currently sitting in League 2 at the moment in real life, so they did get promoted in this save. Now they're trying to get back to the Championship for the first time since 2007-2008. I'm going to go for that and see if we can get the team motivated. Needs a crowd there. Only one player so far looks motivated, which is not a good sign, which may be a bloodbath here, but the midfield looks delighted, which is fantastic, and the strikers don't look delighted, unfortunately. So I'm hoping because the goalkeeper's motivated, let's hope he can keep Colchester out and we can get to at least a replay. Again, that would mean more money for the club. As we now kick off the game against Colchester, so I'd like this game to actually be a TV game, which would mean even more money for us, but as it turns out, it's just a Saturday game, and we've now gone to the end of the initial highlights. Alright, free kick for Colchester. Here's Walker cutting inside here. Might make room for a shot. He's passed it through to Johnston, and he's scored, and it's already 1-0 Colchester inside 3 minutes. Denny Johnston, the man who has scored 8 goals already so far for Colchester this season, has put them 1-0 up. Alright, here's the highlight. Walker drifting in there. It's a very weird animation from where he was running. Ball through to Johnson, who hits it first time past Bills into the right-hand corner of the net. For some reason that didn't go down as a clear-cut chance when he was clearly right in front of the goal there. Taylor McKenzie's not having a greatest of games, unfortunately, so it looks like my decision to start him has come back to haunt me. Half an hour in, and that's the only goal so far that's actually gone in for Colchester, and that was right at the start of the game. It's a bit of a disappointment, though, that one mistake actually, as I'm saying that, it looks like Colchester might have another goal here. Haitley to Johnston on the edge of the penalty area here. Back to Haitley to Slater. To Haitley, who's on a yellow card. To Modzic, I think that's how you pronounce it. Johnston, Haitley, a nice little bits of play from Colchester, and Roberts just hits it wide, and that has gone down as a clear-cut chance, and that was an opportunity for Colchester to double the lead, and it's still only 1-0 here as we head up towards half-time, as Smith looks like he's going to go into the book here. He's had an okay game at 6.6, but the one weakness has been Taylor McKenzie at 6.2, and the two strikers haven't really done anything as well. We need to get some motivation here. There's some teams, some of the guys two players looking very frustrated at the moment. I think mainly because they can't seem to get any movement going from the defensive side of the ball. But let's see if we can change that round. Some players looking nervous, which is not good. Josh Green is looking stressed, which is not good either. Can we change that? No, unfortunately not. Taylor McKenzie, I think I might have to take off here because he's only on 6.2 and he's on 78% conditioning. Maybe it's time to bring on Jack Utteridge just to give him a nice return to the game. Maybe not the best time to. Maybe it results in him in the team actually losing, but one of those things, I guess. As you can see on the right-hand side, 3,263 fans have attended this game, which is fantastic. And as Utteridge touches the ball for the first time since he's come back from injury, I'm hoping he comes back in the form that he was in before he picked up the injury. Going to go attacking now to try and be a little bit more adventurous and see if that will make a difference. The strikers are still on pretty poor ratings at 6.3 and 6.2 respectively. Right, time to make a change. I'm going to go for an attacking option here. Josh Green's going to switch to a advance forward, and I'm going to take off Jack Friend and bring on Marshall Katunga to see if that makes a difference up front. Maybe Marshall Katunga can grab his first goal in, I think, nearly 30 games. He's had a bit of a barren run of form up front, unfortunately, for the striker. So I'm hoping he can redeem himself here in a big way if he was able to do that. As we head up towards 70 minutes now. Alright, entering the last 15 minutes, I'm going to make one last roll of the dice here. Hogan Ephraimi is tired, but I think Justin May's not had the greatest of games, so I'm going to bring on Carl Pritchard to see if he can be a hero on that left-hand side. Going to go on overload now with 10 minutes remaining. It doesn't really matter now if they end up scoring a second goal, but if we try and do something here, we are going to go and pump balls into the box as well. See if also that makes a difference with 4 or 5 minutes remaining. Doesn't look like it will do. So we've got a highlight, I think, for Colchester. But here's Davidson, who's managed to pick up and intercept the throw. Puts the ball up towards Marshall Katunga, but Little is there to cut it out at left back. Number 2 playing at left back. Who would have thought? Here's Marshall Katunga on this right-hand side, though. He's challenging number 26, who's won it, though. Facey. Ball to Haitley. Back to the goalkeeper, Lawler, who puts the ball towards Johnston, who scored the only goal of the game so far. Osborne puts it back to Goddard, though, and looks like we've cleared away. But there's a poor clearance to Bon. Here's Johnson again, who scores his second goal of the game, and that was going to wrap up the tie for Colchester. Denny Johnston, second goal of the game, his 9th of the season. It's expected based off the overall league table positions, considering Colchester are 6th in League One, and we are currently sitting 4th, 4 divisions below them. So one of those things, I guess. We did try our best, and yeah, sadly today our best wasn't good enough. We actually are going to do, I think, a second game in terms of a live com. So I think it's a Southern League Cup match, but I'm not 100% sure. If we quickly we'll go to the fixture schedule after this match. As Little has the ball here, back to Slater, ball towards Eastman, who's a substitute, I think, and Bills has now got the ball, and he's going to probably kick it upfield. Oh no, he just passed it to Osborne, and that's the end of the game. It's a 2-0 defeat to Colchester, but I think we've given everything that we've got. Let's see if that's made a difference. Yeah, look, they're all in the green, and the morale's still pretty high. So I think we actually played pretty well, and to only concede 2 goals against a Premier League team, not Premier League team, a professional football team near the top of League One is pretty good, I think. As we now head up towards the next game, which is a League Cup, Southern League Cup match against Truro, and I'll see you for that in a minute. Alright, here we are for the second game of this live com episode. We're at home against Truro in the Southern League Cup. A couple of changes made to the starting 11. Kai Smith is now moved over to centre-back, and Carrillo's now at left-back, with Taylor McKenzie dropping completely off the bench, with Utteridge probably going to be coming off the bench for this match. And we've also got a change in the midfield with Liam Tomzet and Carl Pritchard in for Alfie Davidson and Justin May. Mainly because both those players are struggling with condition. Justin May did pick up a minor injury after that match, which resulted in him being out for 2 to 3 days, and he still has only got a physical condition of 78%, whereas Alfie Davidson's only got a physical condition of 82%. So I'd rather keep the squad fresh. Liam Tomzet can do a job in that central midfield role, which is okay. It's also a good replacement for Callum Frew. So if we want to take off Frew and bring on Maron, then we can just swap those two around, and that will be the case. I mean, Carl Pritchard might struggle in this game because of his match sharpness, but I think I need to give him another start because he hasn't got much in terms of his game time. He's only made 7 appearances to substitute and 1 starting appearance. So without further ado, let's get into the match. The bench is looking as follows: Colcan, Utteridge, Maron I'm bringing on off the bench, Steve Reed and Marsh Katung. Marsh Katung is still struggling though to score goals, so it may be time to part ways with him in the end, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Maybe he can pinch a goal somewhere here or there. We'll have to wait and see. Let's just get into the match. Pritchard's lacking match sharpness, but we have to play him anyways because of the fact that Justin May is struggling with his condition. We are favourites for this match, with Truro having a little bit of a disappointing season in our league. They're currently sitting in the relegation zone after being a team that was on the outside looking in to try and get into the promotion fight last season, but it seems like they've completely fallen off the wagon, and they're now struggling to actually stay up in the division. Going to mark up this guy, Elvis Mayanize, I think, and Jake Watkins and Alex Fletcher, the 3 guys that I think I remember tormenting us the last time they've beaten us before. So fingers crossed we can go out there and, as it says there from Ross Thompson, prove a point. I'm going to go for that and see if that makes a motivation. Yes, that's fantastic. Great. This is a great decision there from Ross Thompson to have that as a team talk. I'm going to go for that and see if that makes a difference. I'm going to go to attacking as well because we're at home against a team that's near the bottom of the league. They may try and counter-attack us, but in order for us to score goals, I think we need to play that fast attacking football that Histon are accustomed to and what we're good at in the end. We're not the greatest in terms it has been our defence this year that has been the main talking point. The fact we've only conceded 8 goals in the league so far, which has been fantastic. As we've got a long intro highlight here, it looks like Truro might have an instant highlight here. Here's Youngs. Ball up towards the other Young, but that's the end of the highlight. Okay, a free kick from us. Here's Smith to Friend. Tried turning past Young, but there's a ball now played towards Watkins, but Smith is there to cover there. Fantastic work by the makeshift centre-back. Right there, Bill's kicked it up towards Pritchard, but he can't win the ball. Here's Frew, though, winning the second ball. Here's Friend, back to Frew, to Pritchard on this left-hand side. Might put a cross into the box, he has done. Here's Grain to Ephraim, takes a shot, and it's saved by Owen. Unfortunately, that has gone down as a clear-cut chance, so that means we really should have scored from that. Ephraim now will take the resulting corner in towards Smith, but it's cleared away by Truro. And here's Morton, who might start a counter-attack, but it's cleared away by Carrillo, and now we've managed to recycle it from the back. And here's now through on the left-hand side, back to Pritchard, who's lost out to Egan, though, and that's the end of the highlights. Right, coming up towards half-time now, just 1 minute or so to remaining of the half, and we're still at 0-0 at the moment. We've had the one clear-cut chance so far in this game, so I'm going to go for that and see if that will make any difference to the team talk. This team talk needs to be important. Yes, this is good. They're looking motivated, which is important, as I've mentioned on so many occasions. Let's see. One player is not looking too great. It's Steve Goddard on 6.3. A couple of 6.4s here or there as well. 6.5 for Josh Green. 6.6 for Callum Frew and Carl Pritchard. I'm going to leave them on though and see what happens in the second half. I'm not sure what happens though in terms of extra time. Is there extra time? I think it's extra time then penalties in this competition. Actually no, we've got an instant highlight. Here's Ephraim with a corner in towards Frew, who's managed to pick it up on the edge of outside the box, and Tomzet has managed to smash it inside the box, and he scored his first ever goal for Histon. Great great vision, great composure from through there to keep the ball alive after the ball lifted over the box from the corner from Ephraim to find Tomzet. As we can see now, the highlight is a little bit jumpy, unfortunately. Here's through though. We managed to pick it off from the corner, and Tomzet just hits it first time into the net, and it's 1-0 to us with the 1 minute gone in the second half. We're now going to go on to control for now to see if that prevents Truro from attempting to provide a counter attack against us. Right, time to make a first substitution of the game. Callum Frew is looking quite tired at 65% conditioning, and also he's on a yellow card. So I'm going to bring on Callum Maron for the last 25 minutes or so. I might make another substitution here. Josh Green is at a 6.6. Goddard has improved his rating though at a 6.6 as well. So maybe also a possible opportunity also for Jack Utteridge to come on, as Harry Osborne's on 71% conditioning. He's looking calm though, so I might take off Kai Smith instead. I don't know what to do here. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll move Kai Smith to left back and take off Carrillo and bring on Utteridge, just to make sure that yellow card for Carrillo doesn't come back to haunt us, and Utteridge then gets another couple more minutes on the pitch. Okay, goal kick from Truro. Ball up towards Young. It's headed back by Smith though. Here's Holland up to Young. He might go past one of our defenders here. It's Menaniz, who's a substitute here, but Utteridge has missed the tackle, unfortunately. Here's Knowles, might take a shot. Morton's there, and it's 1-1 here. This is not good. James Morton with his third goal of the season, and Truro are right back in this match. After we made the substitutions to try and prevent this from happening, we have now it's resulted in us now being drawn level again, as Morton hits the shot first time past Bills, and it is 1-1 with 15 minutes remaining. But we've got an instant highlight here from a throw in. Smith throws it out, and here's Tomzit's picked the ball up. We might take a shot here. It's gone over the bar, unfortunately, so he can't add to his tally there. But that was a good effort though by what's his face, Tomzit. Nearly lost the words there for that particular player. Okay, another highlight. Goal kick. Free kick from Bills. Here's Ephraim in this right hand side. It might go past number 15, but he's lost out to Teta, the number 15 for her. But here's Melanizes now taking a shot, but it's a shot that has gone well wide of the mark. Don't know why that was considered a highlight. Unfortunately, I don't know why FM considered that as a highlight. I'm going to make James Morton. I'm going to close down James Morton here because that's an important aspect of the game. But unfortunately, looks like we're going to have going into extra time here, and we need to try and offer some encouragement and see if we can make a difference here. Everyone's looking to gain confidence, which is fantastic. I might also bring on Muscaton for Jack Friend here for the end of the match. I'll actually swap those two around and bring on Muscaton for the last 30 minutes and see if he can grab a goal, because Jack Friend has only been on a 6.5 rating. Josh Green's on a 6.7, so I might see if that makes a difference. We're now going into extra time here. I think is this the first time you guys have seen me play an extra time game? Please correct me in the comments, as we're Truro kick it off from right to left. Here's Young on this right hand side. It might have an instant highlight here, but fortunately not for Truro right there. Oh my goodness, Hogam Ephraim is looking exhausted. He's on 55% conditioning. I really should have taken him off or something, but I've decided not to do so because I thought maybe Callum Frew or Maron might have had a bit of a disaster when it comes to fitness. Utteridge is also on 81% as well after only, I think, about 30-40 minutes of gameplay. But we'll have to wait and see on that. It's the end of first half extra time. We're now bringing the second half. It's most likely going to go to penalties here, which hopefully will go well in our favour, as the ball's played up towards Muscaton, but Owen is there to snag it for Truro, and that's the end of the highlight. Oh no, Josh Green's now gone down with an injury. That's not good. He's had to come off the pitch, unfortunately, which is not a good sign. We might have to resort to Muscaton and Jack Friend up front, which will be a disaster, because I don't think Muscaton has is on a bad run of form when it comes to goal scoring, and Jack Friend hasn't scored recently, although people correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. As we now head up towards the last couple of minutes here, it looks like it's going to be a penalty shootout on the cards here, and it is now a penalty shootout. So, in terms of penalty takers, let's have a look and see who we've got. Josh Green being off is not good for us, so we've had to play the last couple of games, last 10 minutes with 10 men, and therefore we've only got 10 people taking the penalties. He might have had a good penalty shot on us. So it looks like Muscaton is the best at penalties here. Ephraim, Pritchard. I'm going to go for and just do the order that we've got. based off penalties. Pritchard, Tomzet, Maron, Usridge, Goddard, Smith, Osborne, and Bill. So we might end up, I don't know if we'll end up going round once. We'll have to wait and see on that. As we now begin the penalty shootout here, Marshall Gutton will step up and takes the shot, and he scores. That's his first goal for a good while, but it's only a penalty though, and that is 1-0. Pugh now steps up for Truro, number 3. He's taking a shot, but Bills has made a great save, and it's advantage Histon here in the penalty shootout, as now Ephraim takes a step up. Can we take advantage of that? Yes, we can. It's 2-0 at the moment. Bills has been fantastic with penalties, as I mentioned before. Here's Young taking a shot, and he has managed to find a way past Bills, and it's now 2-1. Who's next for us? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's Pritchard. Yes, it is. He's now taking a shot. He's now just about crept into the back of the net there. The goalkeeper managed to get a hand to it, but Owen wasn't unable to keep it out. And now Owen is now taking a penalty for the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper versus goalkeeper, but Owen is there to score the penalty, and it's now 3-2. Up next for us is Tomzet. Let's see if he can add to that goal he scored. He can. He comes off the keeper again, and it's gone to the back of the net. So Truro now have to score this just to stay in the tie. And it's Tete that will step up here, and he takes the shot, and Bills has managed to save it, and we've managed to advance into the next round of the Southern League Cup through a penalty shootout victory here. I mean, it could have easily gone very wrong for us, but we've got Reece Bills on goal, who's been absolutely stellar when it comes to penalties in recent history in the last 3 seasons that he's been with the club. But it's fantastic we've managed to advance to the next round. We've met the board expectations when it comes to the cup. Unfortunately, though, Josh Green is out for 5 to 6 days. Actually, not too bad though. That's okay. We can last with Josh Green being out for a couple of days. I think it's only. I think it might be only just for one match. So hopefully that's just going to be the case. I think if we go to the schedule, let's have a look and see. I think he will only be out for the FA Trophy game away at Redditch. And maybe he's out for the away match against Merthyr Town, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But speaking of fixtures, let's have a look and see what game should we do next. I'm tempted just to accelerate, because of the fact we've had such 2 games in such a short space of time with the FA Cup. I'm going to accelerate now all the way to this away match against Gosport, who are currently sitting in 5th place, a team that's just been relegated down to our division. I'd like to go up against them again after we drew 0-0 with them earlier on in the season. I'd like to see how well we can do against them a bit later on this season. I think that will be a good opportunity. Will give us a good chunk of the season done as well, as we head up towards the 2020 and end up towards the end of 2019 and the start of 2020. I also want to try and do the Hereford game and also the last game of the season, which is at home to Hitchin. We'll have to wait and see on that front. So I'm penciling in the Gosport game because that just means I can get a good chunk of the season done, and hopefully by then James Difford's very close to being back to full fitness and we'll be able to score more goals. So, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Despite the defeat in the FA Cup first round, we managed to get the win in the Southern League Cup though, which is fantastic though. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, Double Live Com. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next episode, which will hopefully be this away match at Gosport Borough. So until then, see you later.